Hi guys, my name is Babs and I'm the founder of Mind Meets Model. I break down AI concepts and I help organizations move from being non-AI and transforming them to becoming AI native. And today I want to talk about the organizational fear that exists every time a transformation ensues. What do I mean? I've worked through a number of digital transformations and there is a recurring theme with I don't want to limit it to middle managers, but a lot of associates or employees within organizations feeling threatened with respect to the potential impact on their job security or their jobs with this new wave of technological transformation that is coming. It's always been the case, and with AI, it's not any different. As a matter of fact, with AI, the fear mongering might be a lot more. So a lot of times, this is one of the reasons why employees or associates often resist change because the assumption is this change coming is going to impact them. And the truth is sometimes they're not wrong, but a lot of times what fear does to you is it incapacitates you so that you're not focusing on the right thing. And what I mean by that is there are two types of people in life. There are folks who are problem focused, and then there are people who are solution oriented. With the problem focused people, it almost is like they're stuck on the problem and almost can't get their minds off the problem. But with solution oriented people, they see the problem, they acknowledge the problem, and the questions that they start to ask is, what can they do about the problems? The people who fall in the latter category often tend to find a higher chance of survival in life, amongst other things, or in this case, in organizational transformations. So, which bucket are you? I definitely want to push for the solution oriented, but we're going to start the conversation with the problem focused. In large corporations or in organizations as a whole, a lot of associates or employees above, along the ranks, or however you want to call it, tend to realize that over time, how they are measured in their, what's it called? In their worth in the company is land grab, how many people report to them, amongst other things. And sometimes that's all they have and all they know. Others who are a bit more forward thinking think about the business value and the outcomes that they derive or the company derives from their contribution and the people who or the teams that work with them. So that when these new technological transformations happen, something that tends to occur is they are still hugging the present versus thinking to the future. And this is not the best way to go about things. And what I mean by that is change is the most constant thing in life. And sometimes adapting is one of human beings' ways of survival. We adapt. And a lot of times, if you don't adapt, we know evolution stories and how some species get extinct. And that's a sense of the conversation here. Being scared and focusing on the problem and being upset about the problem, in this case, the problem being a transformation or a technological advancement that is coming, does nothing. However, the mind shift happens when you can take yourself from the problem, understand it, study it, and acknowledge it, and then pivot from that stage where, okay, this thing is a potential threat, but it's only a threat if I see it as that. How can I potentially make it an ally? And then that's where people who are curious, and curiosity is a secret ingredient that many people do not have. When you are able to remain curious, you start to learn about this advancement. You start to learn about it on the grand scale, and then you can narrow it down to what it means for you, and then eventually for your organization. You understand your organization from your lens, from the role that you're operating in, and you're able to almost have an idea to translate what direction that technological advancement is going to go in your organization. Or sometimes you can not just translate and predict, you can make it happen because you are in the company. You can potentially set the tone, give suggestions about how adoption should look like. And the people who are curious enough to spend the time working, understanding this advancement, understanding how it impacts them, impacts the organizations, are some of the people who become very prepped for what this transformation is going to look like. And they're the ones that on the fringes of the transformation end up leading the transformations internally as change agents or just employees that understand it and can be part of the larger conversation with leadership when leadership is trying to understand how to adopt the new technology. And in this case, AI. So today I urge you, if you're on the first side of it, which is the problem focused, try to read about becoming solution oriented. And in this case, try to start to understand what strengths you have in your present day. Learn about this technology. Try to understand how it's going to impact your organization or the best impact areas in your organizations. And position yourself for those areas because this is very valuable. That will be it for today. And I just say once again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And feel free to ask questions in the comments if you have any. Thanks for watching.